Hi there. Thank you so much for bearing with us. For those of you in person, very welcome. For those of you online, apologies for the delay and that you can't actually see us. I think IT are on their way, so there may be a little hiatus while we deal with that. But let's just go ahead. I'm going to start sharing the slide. Please let me know in the chat function if you can see this online. That looks like something's coming in. Yeah, you can see, perfect. So we're kind of winning. I'm Sarah Alstaff. I'm a consultant in genitourinary medicine and delighted to chair this event for Black History Month. And as always, delighted to invite students who have taken ownership of this. So welcome to everybody. Black History Month is really an opportunity to share, to celebrate and to understand the impact of Black heritage and culture. It's been marked in the UK as far back as 1987, actually, 150 years after the abolition of slavery in the Caribbean. And I think it's an opportunity not only to mark Black excellence in the past, but also the present and our future. I'm delighted to have students from our medical school and other schools across the university to present. So first of all, I am going to hand over to Dr. Shalini Gupta, who's going to introduce the students. And again, if you have questions, hopefully there's some time at the end and we can use the chat function for that. I'll hand on to Shalini.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. So I'm the chair for the race working group here in the School of Medicine, and I'm very pleased to welcome you to this special Black History Month Grand Round. We're here to celebrate the diverse and vibrant UOD staff and student cohort. So why this Grand Round is special is, like Sarah said, it is a student-led event. So we've got Ori here, who has brought together her group of peers who are going to share their experiences and their thoughts. And what makes it even more special is that we have student speakers from other schools as well. One of them, Felicity, is here from the School of Health Sciences, and Macy from School of Dentistry could not come on site. She might join on later on, but we will see. There was a change in the timetable. But anyway, we had enthusiasm from other schools as well. That's really reflective of our connected community. But thank you all for coming. And I will hand over to you.
Yep, thank you guys so much for coming to this year's Black History Month Grand Round. I was fortunate enough that last year I was on the student panel as well presenting. This year I will just be the interviewer. So we have a group of 6 students here today who have all put in the work and effort to come together and prepare some answers and to share their stories for today's Black History Month Grand Round with the theme Power and Pride. So first up, I'll be inviting Deborah up to give her presentation about Black British healthcare figures.
Hi everyone, my name is Deborah, and today I'll be doing a very short history spotlight for Black History Month, focusing on Black British people in healthcare and how their experiences have impacted me personally as a medical student. So I wanted to first start with Danny Elizabeth Anyon. She's Britain's first sickle cell and thalassemia nurse specialist and a huge advocate for better understanding of these conditions in communities that were often overlooked. What inspires me most about her is her compassion and persistence. She created spaces for patients who weren't being heard, and that's something I really admire. I included her because she reminds me that medicine isn't just about science, it's about advocacy and empathy. Next is Dr. Harold Moody. He qualified as a doctor in the early 1900s, but was refused hospital posts because of racism. Instead of giving up, he decided to open his own GP practice in Peckham and become a community leader. I included him because he represents resilience. His story shows how determination can turn rejection into service. And that's a lesson that still applies in medicine today. Next, we have Dr. Samantha Choss. She was the UK's first Black female orthopedic surgeon. She's known for her skill and for breaking barriers in a field where women, and especially Black women, are still underrepresented. I chose her because her story is proof that excellence always shines through, even when the odds are against you. Seeing her succeed gives me confidence that I can thrive in any areas of medicine I'm passionate about. I've also included James McHugh Smith. Although he's an American, he was the first Black doctor to graduate in the UK, earning his MD from Glasgow University. I included him because his story reminds me that Black excellence in medicine has deep roots. It's not something new, it's part of history, and it's powerful to know we've always belonged in this space. In 18, he graduated in, as I said, he graduated in 1837, and that was almost 200 years ago when you think about it. Next, I have Annie Brewster. She worked as a nurse at the London Hospital in Whitechapel, caring for some of the poorest and most diverse communities in London. I included her because she embodied quiet strength, serving people with dignity and kindness at a time where Black women in healthcare were almost invisible. She reminds me that care itself is an act of leadership. Last but not least, I've got Dr. Kevin Fenton. Dr. Kevin is a public health expert and currently the National Director for Health Equality at the UK Health Security Agency. He's done major work in reducing health inequalities, especially during COVID-19 pandemic. I included him because his work shows how medicine goes beyond hospitals. It shapes policies in entire communities. He's someone who uses his platform to make healthcare fairer for everyone. How has their representation impacted me? Learning about people like these have made a huge difference in how I see myself in medicine. Their stories inspire me to work hard, but also to lift others up along the way. Seeing other people who look like me in these fields makes the journey feel possible. What I'm looking forward to the most as a medical student going into the healthcare field, making meaningful changes in patient lives and contributing more to an inclusive healthcare system, both for the patients and for just the healthcare system as a whole. I want to be part of a generation that continues what these pioneers have started, building a more inclusive, empathetic, and equitable healthcare system. And one day, I'd love to mentor and encourage other young Black students coming into medicine the same way I've been inspired. For me, community is what keeps me going, whether that's support from my family, friends, or mentors. People who simply understand my experiences, it makes a huge difference for me. The Black community in medicine shows so much strength and pride. It's a reminder that we're not alone, we're part of something bigger. Community means representation, support, and shared purpose, and it's what helps all of us grow. The history of Black British people in medicine isn't just about challenges, it's about legacy. Each of these figures showed courage, resilience, and purpose, and they've paved the way for people like me and future generations to come. As Shirley Chisholm once said, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. That's exactly what these pioneers did, and that's what I hope to keep doing too. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that very insightful presentation. Next up, I would like to invite Annie to give her speech on a topic which I'm not aware of yet. So it's going to be a surprise for all of us.
Okay, for my speech, it's on the topic of today, which is Black Power and Pride. And when I was told to present on this, I wasn't exactly sure what I should present on. But that very same day, I remember walking into the tutoring class and had a Black girl wave me over, keeping in mind that I didn't know who she was. She waved me over in the kindest way possible, and we began to chat. We began to chat about the course and how she was willing to offer any help possible where I needed it. And I thought this was it. This is Black power and pride. These unspoken rules, the unspoken rules of smiling at another Black stranger, and the silent acknowledgement of our struggles, that they may be different, but in so many ways are so similar. Black power was every Black person that silently decided to lift one another just because. For me, it was every time a Black person replied, "Wow, we're a medical student now," each time I mentioned getting into medical school, because a win for one was always a win for all. It is putting Black in every Google search, from Black hairstyles to Black professionals, as it is a silent, "I see you, and I know you see me too." This is making inside jokes about one another, knowing we'd never let any one of ours be mocked. It is the calm when you're not the only Black person in the room, because that may be the person to have your back if things go south. It is the vibes, it is the song, it's the dancing. It's being loud and passionate. And yes, it's also being shy and nerdy, as we are beyond the stereotypes expected. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On to the next section is the interview. We were originally supposed to be in Ganaki, so we're gonna figure out how we're gonna make this work just now. I'm thinking that this might work, so we can bring it around to the scene. Oh, yeah. You have a mic. No. Oh, here, how about it? So I have, oh, great. I have a list of questions which I collected from just the community, the mid school and Outward, and who honestly were really good questions. So I'm just going to ask them, and hopefully whoever wants to answer them. So if we could come to the, that'd be great, just to make it easier for my person. Okay. Sorry. Okay. First, I would like everyone to go down and introduce themselves, their year, their course, and just maybe a fun fact. And you can ask fun fact, that's fine too.
Hello, my name is Troyo Osiman, and I am a first year medical student. And one fun fact about me is that I was born in Nigeria, but I grew up in Spain, and I stayed there for 13 years of my life. So I can speak fluent Spanish.
My name is Jeff. I'm a third year medical student. I'm from Dundee. One fun fact about me is I'm originally from London.
Since we're doing countries, hi, my name is Lamola Ajuwan. I'm a third year medical student, and my fun fact is that I'm Canadian.
Okay, actually, I'll just pass it around to my mom.
Hi, I'm Felicity Davis, second year mental health nursing student, and I'm from Nigeria.
My name is Annie Oguntebi. I'm a first year medical student. And I guess a fun fact about me is that I like picking up multiple hobbies, so I can sew, knit, skate. If you can think of it, I've probably tried it once.
Very nice. And then I'm Aura Ocean, and I am a second year medical student. And fun fact about me, I was born in Glasgow, but I moved down to England, so I haven't really when I came back. So my first question for anyone who'd like to answer is outside of work or study, what's something that you're currently really into?
Hiya. So something that I'm really into outside work or study that some might know, some might not, is content creation. I love social media. I love creating videos that kind of encapsulate my life. As something to kind of like look back on, share with family that's back home, and then also kind of just inspire other people, if that makes sense. One of the bigger things when I was coming to Dundee was searching up like on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, what's it like to be a Dundee medical student. Like I had no clue. I had no expectation of like what I was going to come into. And sad thing is I didn't really find anything. So when I came, I was like, okay, I'll become that thing. So I started making videos, just day in the lives, kind of just seeing like what I get up to in Dundee, my friends, how like I've just changed kind of like over the years. And then I started working for the university and doing that, which was nice. And now it's been a thing where students are reaching out to me, asking for advice, asking questions, and it's really beautiful just to kind of see a full circle moment of students that like I met online that I now see in the hallways, just from asking questions, mentoring, and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, it's something that gives me peace, a great passion of mine, and it allows me to be creative and just be myself. So yeah.
The next question is, what are you most proud of about yourself right now?
So one thing I'm most proud of right now of myself is the way I can teach myself stuff. For instance, I have a great passion for instruments. However, I do not have there was no like resources given to me for me to learn instruments. So I took initiative and instead of looking for a teacher, I decided to teach myself how to play different instruments. That's why currently I can play 3 instruments. Have I mastered it? No. But I think I'm at a really good level and I think I'm at a really good place where I would like to be. Because I know that it won't happen overnight. I told myself these instruments, I'm not a professional myself. I use YouTube videos, but since I know it won't happen overnight, I'll fail to like play some chords because I play like the guitar, the ukulele, and the recorder. Sometimes I fail, sometimes I mess up, but that's always part of the progress. So that's something I'm really proud of, the fact that I did not give up as well.
Along that same line, we have, what's a moment where you felt a surge of pride in your heritage, and how did that impact your life?
The first time I felt, one of the times I felt pride in my heritage and how it has impacted my life was my application for medicine, because all my biggest supporters throughout my application for medical school were mostly Black people, from the doctors who offered me a placement to one of the students that helped me do my interview who likes content creation. So yeah, most of my biggest supports were Black people. From, like I said during my speech, was when random people that would say, oh, we're going to become a medical student. These are random people. I had no idea who they were. So that made me acknowledge that Black people have a huge sense of community, and you don't necessarily need to know them to be part of that community. So after I got into medical school, I acknowledged that fact that, okay, now that I'm here, I also want to be part of that community. I want to like help those who are coming after me, because it's nice to have somebody above the ladder that can always pull you up. Yeah, and that's how Black people are. We love pulling one another to the top.
Nice, very nice. Our next question, I'm gonna just direct it to Rosie because it just makes more sense. What advice would you give other Black and minority students who are interested in studying healthcare-related courses abroad?
My advice would be always feel like you belong and always walk into rooms confident. Even though you don't see people who look like you in societies that you may like or spaces that you want to be in, just walk in and be that representation and just be that representation and try to find other people like yourselves and convince them to join those spaces so people like you can fill up those rooms.
The next question is, how do you stay confident in your identity as a Black person when you're in spaces where you are the minority?
I think for me, I'm quite fortunate because my family moved up from London with me when I came. So every single day I get to go back home to my family after lectures. So that Black sort of representation, that Black culture is always with me at home. And even when I come to uni, you know, like as you guys can see here, there's so many different Black people. And we're all friends, you know what I mean? So it's like, you kind of feel that sort of power to be Black. You feel proud to be Black, and it's nice to see faces around. And even like events like today, showcasing Black culture, Black excellence. It's just an extra motivation for me personally. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Along that same line, because obviously you go home and you see your family and things like that. Who is someone in anyone's life who uplifts you and supports you, and how do they make you feel seen and heard?
So for that, for me, I believe that would be my mom and my dad. So for instance, my mom is quite supportive, especially when I first moved here to Scotland, because where I stayed, it was very few Black people basically. And it's easy to start feeling inferior or to feel less confident. And I remember always telling my mom that, okay, they told me in school that I can't get here, or they told me in school that, oh, I look odd. And my mom would, in her own special kind of way, would look at me like, are you trying to say I have an ugly daughter? I was the top of my class, like most African parents. You can't start failing class because I passed my great brain to you and stuff like that. And with my dad is more of like, even if you fail, at least you've tried, and at least you're not going to think back that, oh, maybe I could have got in. So once you fail, at least you know you've tried your best, and you can tell other people, make other people try. So yes, my parents were a good encouragement for me.
That's so nice. Would you like just sit here? Makes more sense. Please put the little chair. Just leave it here. They want me here. I mean, I have the next question is, so obviously you talked about like how like as African parents and things like that, there's a certain way that they like relate to their kids. So my question is, what like how important do you think that like cultural competency is like in healthcare, especially when it comes to like treating people from minority backgrounds?
I think cultural competence is really key, especially as a nursing student in placements. I see a lot of people from different cultures, beliefs, moral systems, and that kind of affects how they want their healthcare to be and how they want to be addressed. And I think coming to those spaces with an open mind and unbiased and proper, an open mind, unbiased, and proper communication. It's very key because you want those patients to feel confident and safe around you so you can give optimal care.
Yeah. I'm not so do you feel like other healthcare professions support each other enough, or are we too divided? Because I know that you have a background in healthcare.
Yeah, I do. So for some background, I work as a healthcare support worker in the hospital in Nairobi. And from what I've seen, I feel like in Nairobi especially, there's quite a sense of unity as professions. So I've not seen like really like a doctor looking down at a healthcare or at a cleaner, like at a nurse, which is something that I'm really shocked about, because before coming into like the healthcare profession, I felt like doctors will have like this like superiority over like others, but I've never like seen that when working in a ward. Also, I feel like everyone knows what their role is, so they will stick to that role. And the whole hospital itself is also connected, so there's also a good sense of communication around the whole hospital, and which is like compared to other hospitals I've seen now, which is like really good, connected, and like communicate as a whole.
What is something challenging that you would expect to face but through your training?
For me, it was something I knew about, but I didn't quite like know the extent of it. So obviously everyone knows coming into medicine, like the workload's quite a lot. You know, you're going to be asked to learn all these creative concepts and understand it to quite a in-depth kind of way. I think that was for me the biggest shock. When I came in, I was like, this is a lot. This is a lot, and you kind of think, you kind of get a bit of imposter syndrome. You're like, maybe I'm not meant to be here. Maybe I'm not meant to, I got here by luck and this kind of things. And you think it's pretty much impossible, but, thankfully you kind of grow in that, and, I've made it to third year, so I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? So it's just a patience thing, and kind of just, I don't want to say go with the flow, but just kind of embrace the experience, embrace the sort of time you have in first year, grow, and then in second year you kind of have a stepping stone to kind of build on to third year, and then hopefully third year stepping stone to fourth year, fifth year, and graduated. Yeah, so yeah, that's me.
Was there a moment in your healthcare journey where you surprised yourself in a good way?
Yes. I would say, for me personally, I would say that it was getting here, actually getting here, because I come from a tiny little island in Canada, Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island. You know where it is? Yeah. And in my high school, I was one of the only Black people. And I would say that I was the only one, or I was the only one that went to school abroad. So even just the application process, using UCAS, doing the UCAT, all of these things, like, it was foreign to everyone, including myself. So a lot of that was on me and my parents to kind of like help me and guide me through the process. And a lot of the times I was told that I should just stay in Canada, do the first degree, like it's okay, like I'm young, I have time, like there's no need to be like ambitious and go abroad, like these things will come, and like people haven't done it before, so why do you want to go do it, and all this kind of negativity. And that honestly fueled me the more to want to come and do it. But the application process, I won't lie, it was hard. And I think just having that support within my family, my friends, and people that kind of just knew me, and knew like the kind of ambition that I had, and knowing that this is something that I do want to do. It's a career that I do want to follow, and this is a path that I do want to take to come to Scotland. So hallelujah, I made it. But I think it's just within, like Jeffrey was saying, like within just being in third year, it's been a journey in itself. And I think just having that continual support with family, friends, staff, like it's amazing. And it's something that I don't take for granted. But yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes, it was that big of a news of me coming abroad that the newspaper wrote an article about me, and I made front page news. And it was UK, it was literally, I think it was African Nova Scotian student is coming abroad to study medicine in Scotland. If I search my name up on Google, you'll find it. But yeah, so it's things like that. But even within that, I would say that the community in Nova Scotia it's a community, like we're Maritimers. Like it's, when I did get in, it was a thing of just continual love and support. Like people that knew me or like knew of my family show up to like flowers at the house and like things like that, like random things, you know what I mean? But within that, there was so much of a sense of a community and like, I guess, pride from not just myself and the people that like backed me as well. And that kind of just fuels me to keep going. But yeah.
So my question is, what's a message you'd like to share with the world about what it means to be Black and powerful?
Oh, well. What it means to be Black and powerful?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Impromptu.
What I believe it means to be Black and powerful is being yourself. It's as simple as that, because I think people like make the idea of being Black and powerful very narrow. From, oh, you have to like, oh, do it this way, if not, they're not going to see you. You're Black, they're going to see you. I'm sorry. But no matter what you do, they're going to see you, and let them see you in the light you want them to see you. That's basically being Black and powerful. Don't be afraid that you're going to take up space, you're going to disrupt anything, but disrupt it positively. Make a difference, and that's being Black and powerful.
as well. We love to see it. Okay. And then I have the question of who or what keeps you going when things get overwhelming?
Okay. So I'm going to break down this section academically and socially, but we start with socially. So I'm quite fortunate of having like my mom and my grandma around to empowering Black women that I look up to. So whenever like things get like challenging socially, I know that I can speak to them and I know that they will listen and give me advice, not based on what I want to hear, but based on like what is right. Like if I'm wrong, they will tell me, oh, you are wrong. If I'm right, they will tell me you are right. And then from there, they will give me like feedback on like how to become a better person. Then academically, I always like go up to like my friends, my peers that are maybe like in the same situation as me, because I feel like if they're not in the same situation as me, they will not really get where I'm coming from. So I always go to them and search for advice and ask them, oh, how did you like overcome this certain situation? And then get like that feedback and me myself also grow from that. So I feel like as people, as Black people in general, we all look to like uplift each other one way or the other.
Sorry, repeat the question again, please.
Who or what keeps you going when things get overwhelming?
Yeah, similar to treasures, I think family is massive. I think, because we were initially one of the only sort of few Black people in our area as well when we first came up. That support system was massive to have. And I think even when things get like really, really bad, it's like really, really comforting to know that you've got some people to turn to all the time. So I think they're that for me. Friends as well. I think in medicine, I think maybe not so much in other courses, but in medicine, I feel like the community aspect, the support aspect is so huge. It's so massive. Like you can't, for me, I don't believe you can go through this course without having some sort of support system within the medical school. Like having friends has been such a big help for me personally. And I think, I feel like if I didn't have, people within medicine to turn to, I think I'd struggle to get through because we sort of help each other, we encourage each other, we share notes and all these kind of stuff. So it's like, it's important to have. And I feel like it sort of helps you as well, building relations with your colleagues when you're going to work as well. So it's like, it all links in and ties in quite well. So I feel like for me, those are the two big things. Yeah.
So, what does power look like to you in your everyday life?
Okay. My everyday life. Okay. Power to me is unapologetically but humbly taking up space. And like Annie was saying, that looks different for anybody and everybody. Me personally, I'm loud. I love pink, and I just love to just express myself. So for me, that's not dimming my light when I enter spaces that maybe aren't used to that. So I would say that it's being unapologetically you, being able to take up space in a positive way and being able to have an impact while also being able to share and be knowledgeable, because sometimes you do walk into spaces where people, they don't understand what it is or what it feels like to be Black. They don't understand our experiences, but it's being open enough and being willing enough to talk about them, share them, enlighten people. Most people, they like to hear it, so you might as well share it. And it's just a thing of, yeah, just be you. Don't ever dim your light for anybody. And yeah, that's it.
Felicity, what do you hope to contribute to your community as a Black nurse in the future?
Okay. I hope to contribute not only in care, but in advocacy and awareness, especially in unrepresented places. Most especially like in my country, Nigeria. Mental health is not something that we talk about. There's kind of an awareness of it, but there's not an acceptance of it. So I remember during our final year in secondary school, we meant to talk about what we wanted to do in university, and I mentioned that I wanted to do mental health and forensic nursing. And my teacher looked at me and said, there is no job opportunity here in Nigeria. Or, but it just showed how much, lack of places and lack of, opportunities for people who also want to study mental health and forensic. back home in Nigeria, and also uplift the young people, because it's kind of, nursing is kind of narrow over there. There's not a lot of areas and branches that people can go into. So try and fill up those spaces and make it nice.
This is a question for everyone, just going down. If you could speak to yourself from a year ago, what advice would you give yourself?
Actually, I'd probably just tell myself to relax because I think for me, like about a year ago, I was preparing to go into medicine. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to do this. Like, oh, blah, blah, blah. It feels now that I'm here, all my problems then just felt so irrelevant because now I'm in class, I'm like, yeah, the course now feels a lot more difficult than my high school work. So yeah, I tell myself to calm down. When you get there, when you're going to get there, and no matter how bad things get, as long as you believe in yourself, nobody can really stop you from achieving what you want to achieve.
We're gonna pause and take a look at.
I'm going to the chat. You can enlarge the chat here. Yeah.
Okay. And then, all right. Does anyone have a favorite memory in their healthcare journey that they'd like to share?
Okay, my favorite memory so far is when I got to scrub in for a cataract removal surgery. It was very, very fun. I started like looking into ophthalmology and I was like, oh, this could be nice. So actually through Aura, I found a surgeon to kind of like take me on for the morning. It's very fun. She let me scrub in. They taught me how to scrub in because I didn't have any clue. But they like took the time. The reg was super nice, taught me how to scrub in. They even like tied me up, got my little cap on. Because of my braids, I had to do two. Just to make sure it's in there. And then they even let me, what's that thing called? Suction. They let me suction. I was like, wow, this is so cool. And I got to do about, I think, 4 or 5 of them that morning. And it was just nice, fun, easy. The staff were amazing. And then I think it was even the next day, I was down in like level 5 for lunch and I saw them. They were like, oh, Luella, hi. And I was like, hey, you remember me? Hi. Yeah, so I would say that was my favorite memory so far.
So this was basically during the summer when I was working like as a healthcare support worker. So as I was working as a healthcare support worker, I got sent to pick up some stuff and I was in the lift. As I was in the lift, I saw like these 2 kids. One was like around like, maybe I could say he was in F3 or so. Yeah, he was in F3. And then with his little brother, he was in P7. They were both black. And as they saw me, they like greeted me. They were like, oh, good afternoon, how are you? And I could tell they were Nigerian, just like me. So they like greeted me, oh, good afternoon, auntie. So I was like, well, okay. So I asked them, how are you? And what are you doing here? Are you going to visit like someone in the hospital? They told me, no, we're here to study. I was like, you're in F3, what are you studying? And then he was like, oh, I want to become a doctor. I was like, oh, and then I told him I'm a medical student. And then he was like, oh, are you? Like, how is it studying medicine? Like, what have you been doing? And I was just so proud of seeing like someone that just in F3, you're not even writing exams, just seeing them like having like that passion from like such a young age. And just like, it just makes me so proud, honestly, just to see that.
Well, that rounds up the interview section. These are all the questions that I have. If anyone has any more questions, please let me know now. Thank you. So can you please join me in giving them a round of applause as we continue? Well, thank you very much, everyone, for coming. I don't want to end this because I'm not the chair. Can I just say a big thank you as well to Aura for like meeting and all.
Thank you all so much. That was really insightful and Yeah, I could have happily sat here for another hour listening to your experiences. So thank you. And thank you for those online apologies that the whole experience hasn't been as good as it could have been. And if you are catching up at a later date, the same goes. But thank you all. And I don't know, Shalini, did you want to, oh, there's a new message, hang on. Very inspiring talks and different perspectives, but all definitely proud of the Black heritage. Thanks to all the organisers for providing the session online as well, so we could join remotely too. Thank you so much. That really means a lot that you stuck in there despite the challenges. I'll hand over to Sweetie in case you want to say anything. But if you are listening, if you have an idea for a grand round for the future, anything Black related, it doesn't have to be done in Black History Month. It could be done any month. So if there's anything else or any ideas that you have, please let us know. By us, I mean Tom Farden. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the students and the attendees sitting here and our folks attending online. Thank you very much, and very heartening to hear these experiences. And it looks like we've got a community and